In the winter of 1950, the American living room was a theater of ritual. Every evening, families gathered around a glowing box that promised to bring the world into their homes. But there was a catch. If you wanted to change the channel, adjust the volume, or simply turn the thing off, you had to get up. You had to walk. You had to touch. It seems almost quaint now, doesn't it? This physical negotiation with our entertainment. But in that annoyance, in that simple, repetitive frustration, lay the seed of a revolution. Our story begins not with a solution, but with a man who was annoyed by commercials. Eugene Polley was a brilliant engineer at the Zenith Radio Corporation in Chicago, but he was also a television viewer. And like millions of Americans, he had a problem. Slightly amused. The commercials were loud, obnoxiously loud, and every time one blared through his living room, Polley found himself marching across the floor to turn down the volume. And Eugene Polley was not a man who enjoyed marching. But Polley wasn't just frustrated, he was inspired. In 1955, he presented his solution to the world, the Flash-Matic. It looked like something from a science fiction serial, a handheld device with a trigger that fired a beam of light directly at photoelectric cells mounted in the corners of the television screen. Point, shoot. The channel changed, shoot again. The volume adjusted. It was wireless. It was revolutionary. With a hint of disappointment, it was also deeply flawed. The Flash-Matic's fatal weakness was light itself. Any bright light, sunlight through a window, a lamp turned on too close to the set, could trigger the sensors. Televisions changed channels on their own, like poltergeists with a preference for soap operas. The Flash-Matic was a commercial disappointment, but it proved something crucial. People wanted this technology. They wanted freedom from their furniture. What they needed was someone to perfect it. Enter Robert Adler. Born in Vienna in 1913, Adler had fled Nazi-occupied Austria in 1938 with a doctorate in physics and a mind that thought in frequencies and waves. By 1956, he was Zenith's director of research, and Eugene Polley's failures had landed on his desk like a challenge. Adler understood the problem immediately. Light was unreliable. What he needed was something invisible, something that could pass through space without interference from lamps or sunlight. He needed sound, but not the kind you could hear. Ultrasonic frequencies, sound waves pitched so high that they sail past human hearing, occupying frequencies above 20,000 hertz, where only dogs and bats pay attention. Adler's design was elegant in its simplicity. Inside a handheld device, he placed 4 aluminum rods, each cut to a precise length. When struck by a tiny hammer, each rod vibrated at a specific ultrasonic frequency. One frequency to change channels up, another to change channels down, a third for volume, a fourth for power. 4 notes in a symphony that only your television could hear. And here's the beautiful part. It required no batteries. The mechanical energy of your thumb pressing a button was converted directly into ultrasonic sound. It was powered by nothing more than human touch. On June 8, 1956, Zenith introduced the Space Command to the American public. The price, $139, roughly $1,300 in today's money.
You stay in your easy chair. Zenith Space Command changes channels, adjusts volume, even turns your TV on and off, from clear across the room.
The response was immediate. Despite the premium price, Americans bought them by the thousands. Because what Zenith was really selling wasn't technology. They were selling comfort, control, the feeling that technology was finally adapting to us rather than the other way around. Over the next 2 decades, the remote control underwent a quiet evolution. Competitors emerged with their own designs. Some used ultrasonic frequencies like Adler's creation. Others experimented with radio waves. But a problem was emerging, one that Adler himself had predicted. As televisions became more sophisticated, adding color controls, tint adjustments, picture-in-picture modes, ultrasonic remotes became unwieldy, covered in buttons, each requiring its own precisely tuned rod. And there was another issue, one that was almost comical. Certain sounds, jingling keys, the bark of a dog, the specific clink of coins, could accidentally trigger the ultrasonic sensors. Your German Shepherd could become an inadvertent channel surfer. The solution arrived in 1980 from a technology that had been waiting in the wings: infrared light. Infrared operated below the spectrum of visible light, invisible to human eyes but easily detected by sensors. Unlike ultrasonic sound, infrared could carry complex coded signals. Instead of 4 simple commands, a single remote could transmit hundreds. And unlike ultrasonic remotes, infrared devices were directional. You had to point them at the television, which eliminated false triggers, though it also meant you had to actually aim, introducing a whole new frustration into family life. But here's what makes the remote control story truly fascinating. It wasn't just about changing channels. The remote control fundamentally altered our relationship with technology. It established a principle that now governs our entire digital existence. The principle is simple. Technology should respond to us from a distance. We should be able to command our environment without entering it. Before the remote control, humans adapted to machines. We walked to them. We stood before them. We operated them on their terms. After the remote control, machines began adapting to us. The lineage is direct. Robert Adler's ultrasonic transmitter begat the infrared remote, which begat the wireless mouse, which begat the smartphone touchscreen, which begat the voice command. An old man annoyed by commercials, an Austrian physicist who understood sound, and from their combined frustration and genius, the wireless world we now inhabit. But revolutions carry consequences that their architects rarely foresee. The remote control made television watching effortless, and in that effortlessness, we found ourselves watching more and more. By 1990, the average American watched 7 hours of television per day. The remote control contributed to a more sedentary lifestyle. Some health researchers have called it one of the most significant factors in rising obesity rates in developed nations. Though whether we blame the technology or our use of it remains an open question. And then there are the smaller frustrations. The eternal question: where is the remote? It's estimated that the average person spends 60 days of their lifetime looking for misplaced remote controls. Eugene Polley invented the remote control to save himself from getting up. Ironically, we now spend countless hours standing, searching, hunting for the device that was meant to keep us seated. Eugene Polley passed away in 2012 at the age of 96. Robert Adler had died 5 years earlier at 93. Between them, they held more than 200 patents. Together, they received the Emmy Award for Technological Achievement in 1997, recognition for a device that had, by then, resided in virtually every American home for decades.
In his acceptance speech, Adler said something that stayed with me. "We simply wanted to make television more pleasant. We had no idea we were changing how humans interact with machines." And that's often how revolutions happen, isn't it? Not with grand declarations or manifestos, but with engineers solving small problems, with inventors annoyed by commercials.
Today, we live in a world that Robert Adler and Eugene Polley could scarcely have imagined. We speak to our homes and they answer. We gesture at screens and they obey. We exist in a constant state of remote control. But that first remote, that clicking, battery-free ultrasonic miracle, sits in museums now, a reminder of a simple truth. The distance between us and our machines has shrunk to nothing. We can control everything from anywhere. But perhaps the real question isn't whether we can reach across the room without getting up. It's whether we should. Because some distances are worth crossing. Some channels are worth changing manually. Some connections require us to get up, to move, to meet each other halfway.